Kanpai.
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 I have hands. They're sort of working.
He says.
Indeed. So, welcome one and all to episode... Oh, what are we on this week?
234.
We're on episode 234. We'll be talking about One Season Wonders.
234, man. It's a signal. It's 234. You know?
234. Yeah.
You mean it's a
we'll
sign?
be talking about Xeno's topic this time with One Season Wonders. Before we get into that, though, we'll do the usual YouTube gump where we ask you to like, comment, subscribe, drop a down into the description box below so you can find the links to everything we do. Discords, Patreons, streaming, the audio version, and that's even where you'll find where we archive our memes, because Reddit and other places delete them, and it's impossible to find stuff again on other ones like Instagram. Just finding your old stuff is do drop us a comment. We really appreciate them. Read them out every week. And Nasuth, I believe, eats them. It's very tasty for him. So,
nom 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 nom.
Absolutely.
Look, I need a lot of fiber in my diet, so I write them down, and then I eat the paper. You know.
It's because he's a scarf. He needs a lot of fiber.
Yeah.
Just trying to get that one.
Sure.
He's made of threads, Xeno. They have fibers.
Sure.
Any road up. I think that's it. We are trying some stuff under the bonnet, under the hood. So we'll see how that pans out. We'll tell you all about it afterwards if it all works. But you may not see any difference for this episode at all. Other than that, Xeno, take us into your topic.
Right, okay. So this is a bit of a hard one to describe. It's a lot of what
That's what I say all the time too.
With
bit of a hard one. Sorry. Gonna stop.
Done?
No, but yes.
Okay, right. Anyway, Nasuth. So there's a lot of a feeling behind this one in terms
That's what she
of...
said.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Want to get it out now? do you want to both? Do you want to just interrupt me? Keep going? Come on.
Do we want to start over?
I don't think you want me to get it out because it'll get us banned off YouTube.
Anything else? Any more you want to add? Any further comments? Any further pent-up frustration?
Now you're just making it worse.
I love these pair, but I also hate them so much.
Do you actually want to start over, or just keep going?
You can edit it however you want, Nasuth. I don't mind, right? Okay, so the whole premise of this episode is really hard for me to nail down, mostly because a lot of it stems from a feeling, right? As the months and years have gone by since starting this show, I feel that the anime has kind of shifted into a framework of pushing heavily for big franchises, continuously pumping out seasons. Let's not look
adopting
at
the American method of show production, essentially, is what you're saying.
I feel that, yes. Right? Now, this is entirely anecdotal, right? This is my observation. I don't know how valid it is. It might be a case of plenty of you people listening, or even you two turn around and say, like, no, we don't agree with any of this. But I feel that there is something valid here where there are shows that are getting overlooked, that are underdogs of their, genre or what have you, that are one-hit wonders, that with just one season, and they are absolutely fantastic. And I also feel that in part because they're not huge franchises and things, they're just getting completely overlooked. Right? So, one of the things that I want to do with today's episode is try and answer a bunch of questions, right? What makes a single season feel complete rather than unfinished? Can you love a show could you love a show and still think it's better off without more, right? Is there a desire for more? Is the desire for more seasons a sign of a show being good, or a sign of it left too much unresolved? Right? Are there any shows sitting in our needs a sequel list, and we'd actually be better off letting it go? And what's the difference between show ending and a show being finished? Yeah,
that's really deep on that one.
Yeah, so like this is what I've been trying to. I've been struggling to formulate this as a topic for a while, and I had to have Thaylien help me get the episodes where we've kind of briefly touched upon similar aspects, like, does it need do these shows warrant a second season? Are these shows ruined by a second season? So I want to keep away from the second season stuff as much as necessary. Like, we can go down that rabbit hole, but at the same time, I want to focus on shows that are primarily driven by just one season. Yeah?
Yep, I can get behind that.
Cool. Do either of you have any input on what I've just said, or do you want me to just pick a show and start talking?
Well, No, you first, Thaylien. No, you first. I insist. I insist.
All right. So I can definitely get behind this as a topic, because we have discussed similar things, but I don't feel it's that hard to sum up, even though it is a feeling. It shows that we feel tell the complete story in one season, or can simply be left as that first season and not suffer for it. And that is actually the really key thing, because as we've mentioned so many times on the show before, an anime is almost never strictly the anime. It's always to sell manga.
Yeah.
There's very few that, there's a reason that there's the category for some manga is original concept anime, because so many of them have a manga that they want to sell, and so many of them gain the popularity to be an anime because of their popular manga or light novel. So the whole thing might be that a show doesn't complete the story, but is finished because its goal is to get you to go and read the manga. And that can be a difficult one to get hold of, because it can leave you with shows that you crave, more content from it, to see more in the anime form. But as you said, we might just have to let them go because they've gone for so long without something.
So I have two working examples that I think we can all agree on. One of, I think it's perfect as is, and any additional seasons would just flat out ruin it. And I've got one of, I'd love to have additional seasons, but I think genuinely the way everything's going, the second season is going to ruin it. So yeah, I've as I was briefly recapping, I've got two shows. One which is a perfect, there should be no more to this. Bring out the merchandise you want, bring out the manga that you want, so on and so forth. And then I've got one show that I want more, or at least I did, and now because the way things like One Punch Man have gone, maybe I don't want a second season anymore. So touching on that one first, that is No Game, No Life. Right?
Yes.
I think that all three of us have watched No Game, No Life. And I know for a fact I was certainly left wanting more by the end of the series, and very much was like, oh, you can't leave it there. How can you leave it there? I want more. But I think at this point in time, with the way other shows have gone, I kind of want to leave it there now. I kind of just leave it on the cliffhanger. Don't come back, please. And we'll circle back to it in a second. The show that I think was perfect as the one and done was Vivy, Flourite, Ice Song.
Right, yes.
This does not need any further show. This does not need any further seasons. This does not need a movie. This doesn't need anything in addition. It was perfectly good as it was. Yes, I am just to acknowledge Nasuth did have an understandable rocky start with the show because it is paced very slow, and I appreciate that. But I think by the end of it, you were very happy with the show.
Oh yeah. I might even say the same thing about like Bullet, where it starts out kind of weird and not really sure where it's going, but then by the end of it, you're like, oh yeah, this is good. This was fun.
So my thought is, for something like No Game No Life, what we want to see is how Dorohedoro season 2 goes.
No, I actually have one that already happened. Right?
I'm just yes, but I mean I don't think there's one that's happened that's had the same kind of physical, in real life time delay that Dorohedoro has had.
Excuse you, sir. Samurai Troopers. Samurai Troopers came out in the early 90s. Late 80s. Late fucking 80s. Right? Didn't need anything else on it. It was a nice complete story from beginning to end. Didn't need anything new to it. And then they made the new Samurai Troopers last season. And it's I thoroughly, it's not the same as the original, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like they got the spirit of the original in there. And yes, the art style is different. Yes, it's not the same people you know and love, but it is still a good story. So, not all hope is lost for things like that.
Yeah. But you see whether you're putting the caveats in. What we're thinking of with something like No Game No Life is we want a continuation of the story with the same characters and probably the same art style and studio behind it.
Not to give away too many spoilers, but the original characters are still involved in this. So
I've had your review as well. But what I mean is the actual, not having them as like the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure style successors.
But
we want to see the end of the story as a thing.
They did such a good job with this that I don't think it's fair. It's out of the realm of possibility that they could pick up No Game No Life exactly where it left off and do just fine with it. It depends. It all depends on the studio and the writers and whether they give a shit about the original.
But that's where I'm getting into why I'm
hesitant,
pushing back a little about this Nasuth, is that once is a fluke. Dorohedoro is a second one. There's a time jump between production, and if that's
Tanya the Evil too, coming out
twice is starting a trend. Tanya the Evil is also this season, so we'll have 3, and 3 is a pattern. And if we get
3 is next. Sorry, Tanya's next season, not this season.
Yep.
Yeah, right. So next season. So if 3 is a pattern, and so if we can actually get 3 good sequels, one season after the next, we might see some hope in this concept. But as it stands, until we see the good of these sequels, I think that I'm with Xeno. I feel that there is
wait, new panty and stocking with garter belt. New panty and stocking with garter belt, baby. Done. We made it. We got 3.
So
anyway,
a part of me, I'm certainly there. No matter how much Nasuth is trying to fight you on this.
Pedant his way.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. You both have very valid points, and I do think that... I think Saga of Tanya the Evil is a special one in this regard. I feel that Dorohedoro is still the very much underdog, but No Game No Life and Saga of the Tanya the Evil are both so in the limelight. There is so much focus and attention to both shows that this could fall victim to Rising of the Shield Hero and One Punch Man, right? This was one of the talking points that I kind of put together. Yeah.
Wait, what am I talking about? They didn't get a season 2.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't get a season 2. No, but jokes aside, this was one of the talking points that I had, which was, do you think that there is a big enough misunderstanding of the show that the adaptations suffer for it? Right? The easiest clear-cut example of this is One Punch Man, where we have gone on record multiple times stating that we think One Punch Man is comedy first, action shonen second, but season 2 and from the sounds of it, season 3 have really dumbed down the comedy and really leaned into the action shonen.
I know about that.
It's a parody. It's a parody of the shonen tropes of the superhero format, and I feel that they've got that wrong in a lot of the content that they put out for One Punch Man, because part of the comedy for One Punch Man is how impressive Saitama is when he actually fights. You know? How overwhelming he is, and that's a real shonen trope, is that those fight scenes really should be that competent, and that's where of course people confuse it. That's where they see this thing as a combat shonen, and they miss the parody, because making the parody part, making the combat part of the parody by doing it so flawlessly in some cases is where it went wrong. Well, not where it went wrong, is where it can divert the attention.
Nasuth, it sounded like you had a counterpoint.
No, I would just say that I thought the comedy was still pretty on point in season 3.
Yes,
but the animation's where it really suffered, which is fine to me for the most part until it got like. It was fine in the first half, but in the second half, it got really rough because there was so much action that they had to also incorporate in, and they clearly did not have the budget or the time or the care to animate that as much as they could have.
Yes. I think that's where they lost it. The parody, as I mentioned, including the combat being done so flawlessly.
Yeah.
The high budget animation is part of what made the rest of the show so funny.
But
and
then, like...
So while the same comedy's there for season 3, the high-budget animation for the combat isn't, and that just leaves that contrast stark. It's weird.
But then you go back to the source material, and you look at one's actual drawings, and they're shitty too. So, I mean, you know... maybe the animation doesn't matter as much.
So one thing I want to highlight, sorry for coughing down the microphone. One of the things that I want to highlight is the fact that in season 2 specifically, the comedy of Saitama doing the tournament was cut down to his first fight and his last fight. Even the fights between the other known heroes, like the teacher that does the test for Genos and Saitama. It's something Snake. Was it just Snake? I can't. He fights Lightning Max, who was also seen. Who was also seen in season 1. That fight is entirely chopped out of the series, right? So many of the fights, so much of the escalation to what's going on surrounding Saitama, so much of the comedy is just flat out not in season 2 in the slightest.
But if you've never watched, if you've never read it, then you wouldn't know that. And you know, like, I still enjoyed it because of that, I think.
No, I remember you distinctly going like, I shouldn't have watched season 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's not season 1, but it was still good.
No. Yeah.
So,
and obviously, there's the trauma that is Rising of the Shield Hero. We do not need to go into that.
Yeah. So rounding that back, why do you think that why do you think No Game No Life is really satisfying despite not having a second series?
So I think part of the core fundamentals of No Game No Life, we have a very distinctly different world. We have exploration in the world. We have comedy. We have let's actually kick that up a notch. We have ludicrous comedy, right? It's not just like your stereotypical slapstick humor.
Because magic involved.
Well, not just that, but also like I died laughing when Sora and Shiro thought they'd been transported back to Japan. And it was just the VR experience. Like, oh my god, don't scare us like that! Like, you know, again, that because it was the whole, you know, incel mindset, and I did find that really funny.
Not incel, shut in neat.
What's the difference?
Because incel's involuntary celibate, so they're not. I'm fairly sure that the two of them could get it if they were old enough and wanted it.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Shut in neat. I got that wrong. All right. Where was I going with this?
Talking about them being teleported back.
Completely
humor.
And then over the top humor. And then what's the
absolutely pacing is so fundamental. Like if you drag it out, if you slow it down and everything, it just becomes boring and ludicrous. Right.
Yes, and I think the supporting cast is actually quite good as well.
Yes. No one feels like just a flat out throwaway character. Even Izuna's grandfather, who is a muscle-bound meathead who's talking to Sora from God knows how far away, is absolutely hilarious. Right?
Yes, when they realise that he can see them.
The fact that they're playing a game of chess and it turns into a dating sim. You know, it's the whole... And I think that freshness to the comedy is what is really appealing about No Game No Life. And yes, I really, really do want a second season. But I am scared more now that if they did a second season, they'd fuck it up.
I get that. So my take on this is a little different. In that I'm actually not unhappy that they finished where they did and haven't continued. I really would like to see more. But the actual part of the story they did tell is a complete arc.
Yeah.
So it's the actual story beats from A to B hit the correct notes. You've got the transportation to another world. You've got discovery of what this world is about. You've got them adapting to it. You've got them then taking advantage of it and then beginning the journey in the way that they mean to continue, in the way that the show and the world is actually set up, that they realize what's happening because they've started out on the outside of it. So their plan now is to unite the pieces of the world and take on God, which, considering it's all a game, they are uniquely suited to do. And you see that where they join forces with the Beast Kingdom. The next one, they go to the Beast Kingdom and meet the leader. and they managed to impress them enough to join forces, and they don't sacrifice their own peace or attempt to steal the other people's peace. They unite against the next people on, and you can see how they're going to build up and up and up and challenge the next most powerful, the next most powerful, the next most powerful. It has set all the groundwork, and you want a second season because you can see how the story's supposed to go next. And you want to see how they're actually going to get from B to C. But getting from A to B is one solid arc of the story, and it's less of a cliffhanger and more, come see what we're going to do next.
Yeah.
It's more an invitation than a cliffhanger.
Like, I do want to read it at some point. I want to read Drifters. I want to read, oh, damn, there was just realized another show that I wanted to put on here was High School of the Dead. There's a whole bunch. They might just completely flub the end. They might just completely oh yeah, I'm the mangaka, I can't be bothered anymore. Okay, thanks, bye.
We've had plenty of cases where the end of shows that started out so well, the mangaka has just not figured out how to finish the thing, or the end of their story. They have planned it out in advance, but it's not at all what the reading public would think it was.
Well, I've got one very quick example of that. I don't really want to linger on it much, and that's Parasyte.
Yes, this did come up a lot when I was looking at shows that have only one season and probably deserve a second season.
So,
but
for everyone's benefit, effectively, if you haven't watched Parasyte, it sounds premise-wise it's really, really cool. Effectively, these weird symbiotic creatures end up invading people, and the idea is that they bond to the brain and take over the body. But there's a bunch of them that don't end up bonding to the brain, and then they end up bonding to another part of the person. So it could be the legs, could be the hands, so on and so forth. In our main protagonist case, it is their hand. And these creatures are sort of like drawn to each other. They're constantly fighting each other, so on and so forth. But our main protagonist is just trying to survive, right? With this weird creature that's now taken over his hand. Unfortunately, how the story ends is, and it was the Earth trying to get people to recycle. And that was it. And it's just like, hold on. These creatures that came out of nowhere, that suddenly start taking over people, that suddenly, try to do all this. You're trying to tell me that was the Earth trying to get people to recycle because we've only got one planet. Yeah,
I mean, you can tell that story. I don't think that's a bad story to tell as long as you do it right. No. But
yeah, I completely agree with you, Nasuth. It's not a bad story if you're doing it right. But when you're when you've got a show that's like a battle shonen series, or seinen probably series, and then all of a sudden, and it's the Earth who decides that you need to recycle more, and it's just like, what?
Yeah, that's fine, because it's the Earth's immune system kicking to life. There's lots of stories like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But not explained within
for two of them. Sorry.
Yes, but that was the whole premise of Princess Mononoke. All right.
Exactly.
This was the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. When you do it, the premise results in some amazing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your problem is essentially that they should have dropped some hints along the way that this is where they were going, even if they don't already say it. Like, if they want to keep it as a twist anyway, they can still drop hints.
Because these life forms are falling from the sky. So, what's the obvious assumption there?
Yeah, it's a red herring.
Aliens.
Yeah, that's your fault for assuming. You know what they say about assumptions or about assuming. You know what they say about assumption. It makes an ass out of you and umption.
you an option. Anyway. Right. Nasuth, do you have any shows that you want to particularly talk about?
Kind of. I've got several of them. But when you were talking about No Game No Life and like collecting the pieces of God and what have you, it did weirdly make me think of and how like it tells an arc but not necessarily the whole story. I kept getting flashbacks to Ragna Crimson, which is not a flattering comparison, I admit. But Ragna started out really rough and then got more entertaining until kind of the end when it went off the rails. But it did the same thing where there is clearly more story to this world. There are more, they still got to go take on the Dragon God. But they've revealed so much about like the past of the world, where the dragons came from in the first place, and they get through a major arc where they save a group of humanity and manage to create an actual resistance to the dragons now. And that's enough that when they get to the end and Ragna's like, oh good, I'm glad this person survived, we saved them, but I've got more to do. I'm kind of fine with it just ending there. It could tell more, we could go into like actually defeating the dragons, or more like Ragna learning more about his future past memories, but you don't need to.
Who would you say is the target demographic, the target genre of Ragna Crimson? Because
definitely Shonen fans.
Shonen?
Definitely, 100%.
Okay. So we're saying young boys action sort of series.
I would say probably teenagers more than really young boys, but yes, essentially.
Yeah.
I think that still classifies as shonen. I'm not entirely sure.
Yes. Okay. People that are not over the age of 18, but are still old enough to actually think and form opinions for themselves.
Yeah.
Which, to be clear, doesn't include even people that are in their 40s. Some people aren't able to think and form their own opinions even then.
Like it's probably an older demographic than Dragon Ball, but not as old as No Game No Life maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is kind of what I'm trying to ascertain is, are shows that are more geared towards adults, a safer hedge bet that if we do get a second season, we're fine, or does it stem from the popularity? Because again, I'd argue Rising of the Shield Hero was more geared towards adults, but at the same time, they completely flubbed the following seasons.
So
I know that was geared towards, like, if it's adults, it's going to be early 20s at best, I think.
Yeah.
But I still classify that as adult. They're still working adult.
I think there's a lot of crossover there with late teenagers too. So I don't know.
There is. People who are watching their first really shocking thing, as it were.
Yeah. Like somewhere between 16 and 22 or 24.
Entry-level seinen, but a really good quality one.
Yeah.
So this makes me think that when you say about shows aimed towards more at adults and really popular ones, this makes me think of Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Real classic show, really popular, only one season, and it's only one season for a good reason, because the cast all goes their separate ways at the end. Some early, some later, and the overall theme for the show, it goes from the episodic bounty hunting content onto a story that you learned about early on, but don't really have to that they don't really get into until the last few episodes. And I feel that this is exactly why every bit of Cowboy Bebop content apart from their movie keeps getting it wrong. The live action got it wrong because it tried to recapture. The live action wanted to have that and wanted to recapture the original anime as a live action, and did it wrong. While the movie is just an extended episode, done sometime, anytime, pretty much. People have tried to place it, and it does work pretty much in mid-season when all of the characters are there, but not later season when they're all starting to think about their own stories again.
Well, it had to have been after Ed. No, Ein. No, which one? No, Ed joined last, didn't she?
Yes, it has to be after Ed.
So it has to be after Ed, yes. And I think Ed and Ein were the first to leave.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
And but
that's a huge.
It's a huge portion of the show. It's like episode.
It's like trying to place
through.
The Trigon Badlands Rumble movie, right? That could be anywhere between the time where Wolfwood joins and where Wolfwood leaves, for lack of a better term.
Quote unquote leaves.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. They treat it as an extended episode, and so it works.
Yeah.
And they get the good quality production on it. But everything else since, where they've tried to mimic the appeal of Cowboy Bebop, even with later shows that are not Cowboy Bebop at all, but are from the same people, like Lazarus. They can't seem to catch that same feeling. I really like Samurai Champloo, but it's not Cowboy Bebop, and it's not designed to be, even though it's from the same people and features that same attempt to make it feel like the music.
It's hip hop instead of jazz.
Are you willing to pivot to Samurai Champloo?
Actually, yes, because both tell, a complete story in their seasons. Samurai Champloo is, I really enjoyed it because in this one they're just doing a road trip with one uniting character and two arseholes.
I feel that the really interesting thing about Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo is that, to me, both shows feel like they had the music, the writers, the script writers and things, they had the music playing while they were coming up with the scripts. It felt like they were being influenced heavily by the I want to say atmosphere,
melodies.
It's
the vibes. The
vibes. But the vibes that exist within the studio, right? They were trying to cultivate this vibe within the production studio to make the show. Because I wouldn't say
they wanted people they wanted people to actually understand jazz, and especially like it's not interpretive. The really like not necessarily freeform jazz. They really want people to understand all of that, so that when they write their action scenes or what have you, it's with that in mind, so that it plays out like a really
you see how Spike's definitely set up for that, where he will dance around, dodge and weave in his combat, and all of his hits seem to have that little delay before, then a sharp hit to almost on the beat. To come from odd angles, and when he like throws a poncho at somebody to make sure that he's free. But I think that actually that first one, the Red Eye Coyote scene, combat scene, was the best one for that, because he's bobbing, he's weaving, but then you see him like back up, realize there's a table behind him, and like roll himself back over it in a much quicker movement than the one he dodged back with, so that he's back on his feet in the same timing. So it takes the same amount of time for him to step back to the table as it does for him to flip over it.
It's like changing up your tempo while still hitting the timing, the beat.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly. It gives you that thing that somebody's just done a little trill or something on a saxophone to make this extra exciting thing happen. And yeah, Xeno's right. I feel that they were actually using the music to form the thing. I think in the animation studio when they were doing it.
The reason why I say within the animation studio and not within the show itself is because there are plenty of moments where you've got effectively silence. You've got a completely different tempo. You've got a rhythm that does not fit hip hop or jazz, right? And you need those for the story beats, right? The show wouldn't fundamentally work if you're constantly bombarding your audience with jazz or hip hop or whatever. Case in point, Lazarus.
Yep.
Yeah. So
they wanted to do the. Oh yeah, go ahead. No, sorry.
Yeah. The fun thing about Cowboy Bebop is that jazz can quite easily sink into blues. And they use that. They use those tones and the rhythms of blues to give some of their scenes really slow pace to sink into some of the atmosphere. So even when they're not silent, they still have that slow aspect to them to keep things going.
But there are plenty of silent moments in Bebop, whereas in Lazarus, I think they wanted to do the same sort of thing. They wanted to pull off that noir mystery detective sort of vibe. And so their jazzy music leans more into that slower, more methodical line of things. The problem is that it never shuts up. It never turns off. It is always there. And so it never has any impact. It just fades into the background. Or becomes annoying. Either one. It becomes grating. It's awful in that regard. It's just ugh.
Also, what was Lazarus actually its theme of music?
I want to say it was still kind of jazzy.
Bebop.
It was still kind of jazzy, but it was much, like I said, that softer. I don't know all the jazz genres, but it's that softer, slower sort of lounge jazz.
Lounge is a good description.
A part of me wonders, did they write Cowboy Bebop to end the way it did so that if anyone asked for a sequel, they couldn't?
Yeah. I was thinking that. How would they even do a sequel? It would have to be without Spike. Well,
I don't think they could. I just flat out don't think they could. Yeah. Right? And I think that is the creative genius behind it. Is just like, hey, let's make sure that we can't.
I actually have an example of one where they shouldn't have, and it seemed like it was a perfect ending, and then they did it anyway. Now, I won't be able to tell you much about it because season 2 was so unmemorable and forgettable. And I actually don't remember. For the longest time, I forgot it even existed until somebody brought it up to me. Afro Samurai, great show, great little short. I think it's like 8 episodes. So it's not 5 episodes. Yeah, so it's just a typical like short OVA. Tells a very nice story, a very very classic story, very well-trodden story, but with a different, like a nice modern blaxploitation twist on it. Yeah, that very Quentin Tarantino-esque sort of feel to it. And it ends perfectly. It ends. It seems like there's no room for a sequel, and they're just like, yeah, but it made so much money, we might as well. And that's exactly the sort of thing we're talking about, where it's like, why are they doing this?
He said the thing.
It made so much money.
Made so much money. This is why bad sequels get made.
I
Exactly.
don't know if you have further points, because from this.
I mean, it's just very similar in the fact that it's so artistic and so well planned, and they should have just left it there. Imagine if they did this to Cowboy Bebop, where they tried to make a second season. It'd be awful.
I think there are shows that exist that aspire to have a cliffhanger ending, but if it doesn't get renewed for a second season,
oh, God,
you're fine. No,
Yeah.
you're fine. Fine. One of which being Shangri-La Frontier, right? And, you know, do I think this is the best show in the universe? No. Is this stupid, dumb fun? Yes. It is entirely shonen inspired. And the second season ends on a bit of a cliffhanger because they had a third season already greenlit. But a show that, as far as I can tell, has done everything in its power to just be, here's a cliffhanger, here's a cliffhanger, here's a cliffhanger, is Kaiju number 8. Right? From,
Right.
I did finish season 1, and it just felt that's where you want to leave the episode, the series. Okay, fine. But then I never watched season 2 because I didn't like the pacing of season 1. But from what I understood from Loz is that season 2 just ends mid-fight.
Yep, kinda.
And then, for some strange reason, the third season is branded as the final chapter, even though they've got like 10 whole fucking volumes of manga to cover.
Maybe they can. Maybe the most of the manga is just a boring fight after fight after fight, and so they're just going to crunch that all down.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think of is that, you know, the series is not doing as well as they wanted it to do, and they're just going to end it after. Or it's just a terrible name that they're labeling the bloody third season.
The final season. It's going to be 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Would you say that for good not really cliffhanger endings, I guess kind of. Would you say
open-ended?
that yeah, would you say that Bang Bravern kind of fits into that? Because I feel like there's still more that they could do with it. I mean, Bravern is still around. Oh no, wait, no, he's not. He gets turned back into himself, doesn't he? Yeah.
I was wondering where you were going with this. So no, on the slightest.
Well, but I mean, there is still more story they could tell. But
yeah. They could tell more story, but as it stands, it's kind of pretty finalized.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Bang Bravern ain't around no more.
Oh, that's such a good show.
I really like when single season anime really do finalize stuff, though. And
yeah,
the even ones that have been confirmed for a second season, but you know they're not telling the same character's story. So we see it all the time with JoJo, where they tell new character stories in the same universe. But Cyberpunk Edgerunners as a show, beautiful single season show, and
right,
it is confirmed that they're making more.
Yeah,
because it made so much money.
Yeah,
but as a show, it's complete. The story has been told. They did this whole thing through. I mean, you know, you can rewatch it and see details that you didn't in the first one because you were, you know, concentrating more on some of the action or some of the drama or some of the absolute tearjerk. You know, because it does pull that out of you, even if you haven't heard the music in game. You know. And
go ahead. Sorry.
I just love the fact that this one, you start off with a story that's obviously already in progress. In a sense, you're in a city that has its own history, and the situation that David's growing up into is an ongoing one, and he's just the next step in that story. When you break it down to its raw elements, but you are telling the story of, David coming into his own and becoming a bright spark that burned and then fizzled as part of his own story. He went out the way he wanted to, as a giant fuck you to the corpos and saving the girl of his dreams. So, even though so many people went out at the same time on that, it was such a satisfying end to the story, despite how sad it was. You complete each character's arc in turn.
I think this kind of plays into what Xeno said earlier, where shows like this are the exception now, whereas before they kind of used to be the rule. You used to, like, even in the 2000s, but you'd get a lot of tight single season shows. Even something like Madoka Magica. While it has had spin-offs and everything, the main story was a single self-contained thing. And I'm wondering if it's a case of things like Dragon Ball and Bleach and One Piece and Naruto that have just had these continuous ongoing stories that have lasted years have brought in bukus of money, have sort of ruined that thinking of, we can just take a chance on a single season, and if it does well, it does well, and if it does bad, it does bad. Who cares?
I don't think that's been ruined. Go on,
No, I do. I do think it's being ruined, and I'm not trying to personally attack you, Nasuth, when I say this, but even shows like Evangelion that's had remake after remake, right? Stage plays, the when you have shows,
that original thing is still there and still self-contained. Yes, it's all, everything else is just remakes or side stories or what have you.
Of course, but I think it's the franchisation. Help me pick a better word than that.
Franchisability.
I think franchisability, that is the driving factor, right? I think we would have seen this with shows like Eden's Zero if that was more successful. I think we would have seen this with more shows like let's think of a more shonen series. Maybe Demon Slayer, but I think the thing with Demon Slayer was I'm pretty sure the manga had finished prior to the animation's start.
So they had a clear start and end for it.
Exactly, right? So I feel that there's... Gashi Akata, I think, is another one that could potentially become one of these massive explosive franchises. Though at the same time, I feel that the mangaka is getting targeted constantly over the most stupidest of things, and she could self-destruct the project. I think the reason why Chainsaw Man has ended after 2 parts is because Fujimoto, the mangaka of Chainsaw Man, has gone, you know what? I'm kind of done with Chainsaw Man. I've got a new idea I want to do. And all to him, right? If you've got another idea that you want to pioneer, you should be allowed that opportunity to pioneer. And I feel so bad for Akira Toriyama that he wanted to leave Dragon Ball behind. And
then somebody else took up that thing with...
GT.
What was it? GT, yes.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just... No, because he wanted to leave it at just Dragon Ball, but then was brought back in to do Z, and and he wanted to leave it at the Saiyan Saga, nope, and then Frieza Saga, nope, and then I think he got properly back into... I think it was after... I think it was the Majin Buu Saga was supposed to be the definitive end at that point.
Because they were talking about gods at that point, the Supreme Kai and everything. I actually, thinking of these long-running shows and long-running manga, the one that I feel is the
sorry, Thaylien, can I
opposite.
Can I just quick tangent before we go further, before we go away from this?
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about like having exits for a show, or like the author says, I'm done now. I think there is actually an example of how to do this in Western media. Unfortunately, it didn't actually work out that way because the studio or the network fucked them over. It's actually Stargate Universe. At every stage of Stargate Universe, they had an ending planned, right? If it ended at the end of season 1, if they knew it was going to get canceled after season 1, they had an ending planned. If they knew it was going to get canceled after season 2, they had an ending planned. And it would have satisfied the story. But unfortunately, they didn't get to do that because the network fucked them over. They didn't. The ending that we got was not the actual ending of the show that they had planned.
Oh, really?
Because they thought they were getting another season.
Right.
Yes.
So American TV tends to cancel things on they've got something else to fill that slot. It's not,
or the numbers didn't do as well as they thought they did, and they don't know that until the season airs.
So I wasn't technically moving on from this topic.
Okay, sorry. All right.
So it's the contrast to that is the show that because the mangaka was actually having health troubles and it looked like he might exit, the anime stopped at what could be an ending, which is Bleach.
I knew he was going to bring up Bleach. I just
you were, because it's the only other long-running manga shonen thing that's not on the list, as it were. You haven't already talked about, but they stopped at the end of the Fullbringer arc, where Ichigo gets his powers back and begins his life again as a Shinigami, specifically because he was the mangaka was in poor health and was trying to finish the manga before he went into long-term care, or even, he was at risk that he could have in fact gone in and died from any of the treatments that he was getting. So he rounded up the manga at the time on the ending he wanted, but too rushed. Right? So now that they've actually started making the show again with the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, they're actually adding so much more into the seasons that he wanted to include, because he then included them in light novels after the fact, after he'd ended the manga.
Light novels or manga?
No, actually, he did light novels called Can't Fear Your Own World.
Okay.
And then he's since started a new manga in the Bleach universe. It's the Hell arc.
Right.
I haven't read yet. I'm waiting until we get to the end of the 1,000-Year Blood War on anime, and then I'm going to read the Hell arc in manga. So the you could see how the anime knew that he was trying to round up the manga and said, well, okay, for his good, we'll end it at the end of this saga and wait until he's better again. If he's going to continue it, or he wants to conclude it a specific way, then we'll adapt. And that's what we're seeing. So that was actually a surprise. We had that long gap between the end of the Fullbringer and the start of the 1,000-Year Blood War, which has definitely done something good for the animation. They really went all out for that. Still, that's
sort of like how the new
long-running ones.
Sort of like how the new Wit Studio One Piece is going really, really deep on the animation.
Speaking of that, why isn't that on our list?
What, One Piece?
1,100 episodes in a single season. Does it require a sequel?
Well,
I think end it there.
I feel the one show that is the most franchised is One Piece. Like I'd even argue One Piece is more franchised than freaking Dragon Ball, right?
Apart from Eva, which is definitely the most, because that's all over everything.
Nope.
You know,
nope.
I think Ava's been franchised into so many things, but One Piece is a very close second in my feeling.
I really think Dragon Ball is higher than One Piece in terms of franchisability. I mean, how many One Piece video games are there?
A stupid number.
There are
a stupid number of One Piece video. It's
yeah.
We're looking it up.
It's on in the background. 56 games, including 11 mobile.
Holy shit!
A stupid number.
Yep.
That's a high number as well, but
from 1990, it will be. It's a large number, definitely.
Well, a lot of them are going to be like beat 'em ups. So
and that's Dragon Ball itself. So just Dragon Ball alone, will have quite a lot.
Few.
I reckon
Dragon Ball itself. Yeah. How many's it got?
2, 3, 4. That's just in the 80s.
That's the 1980s. Yeah. Dragon Ball Z. 2,
that's Z.
3, 4.
Wait, are we talking about?
That's Z.
Yeah, that's Z
as well.
Yeah. So just regular Dragon Ball up here.
Regular Dragon Ball only got 4 because that's too early for regular video games, as it were.
3, 4. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3.
Z's gonna have a butt ton.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Dragon Ball Z has
12,
had at least 10 video
14,
games in the last decade. So,
Yeah, there's I don't know if it's more than they didn't give an actual number here, unfortunately, but it might be on par with Bleach. I don't know if it's more than Bleach or not. I think it might be though.
Oh, no,
I mean One Piece.
There's not
One Piece,
not very many Bleach ones. Bleach is, I think, in the 20s at most.
I mean, and again, the question is like, how many of these are just mobile games that are just already dead? You know,
true. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we know with One Piece it's 11, but yeah, no. So I feel that because of the One Piece doesn't do many crossovers into the other franchise type things, like models, like figures, like trade advertising, like
collabs with Fortnite.
Yes, Fortnite, Gundam painting. These are other weird ones where it just suddenly appears at a random place. I think. What did we have an anime crossover where Asuka was teaching maths, and people were going on about, we need more stuff like this because we get cute anime girls telling us about concepts in mathematics like Euler's formula. It's
anyway.
Yeah, it's,
a lot of franchisability out there.
Back. I don't think that this has ruined the single season shows because we've seen plenty of them over the years. They're just few and far between in any given year or season.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think there used to be more of them. I think it used to be the standard and not the exception.
But another side of this is, like, we have such amazing shows like Danmachi, right? Now that's 5 seasons, right? I'm pretty sure the 6th is on the way. Date Alive is 5 seasons, right? It's become the norm that the studios, the big wig studios, are going for these multi-seasonal shows, and I feel that maybe it's just the simple fact that the quality of the manga being produced is just not there. But this season, which we'll get to in the 3-episode review in a couple of weeks, we got some absolute bangers this season, right? And just from a couple of episodes, I'm like, why haven't we been getting stuff like this? We just been getting, I hate to say it, isekai crap.
Oh, actually, right? there are a few multi-season shows that have that same level of quality as the one-season bangers. I would say that Apothecary Diaries, despite being how many seasons now? 2, with a 3rd on the way.
2 with 3rd on the way in the movie. No, don't get me wrong, Nasuth, but I am talking the exclusive desire for just the one season.
Yes,
wonders.
I agree. Yes, those are really fun to just die. It's like watching an extended movie, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. we want those killer kills. We want those
Fooly Coolies.
Gurren Lagans.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Those Full Metal Alchemists, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Outlaw Star.
Yeah, I'll even take something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Pluto.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even on our, so even like the bad ones. So on our list today, I added in Pretear because it is a bog standard, middle of the road magical girl anime that almost nobody's heard of. You know, it's and yet because of the way that I consumed anime in my teenage years, I just saw, all right, that looks like a magical girl anime. I bought the box set, you know, because that's the only way I could get it here, because nowhere showed anime apart from, you know, the standard, you know, Toonami, when we managed to get that. Or the Sci-Fi Channel did a few at like 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning.
Some really fun ones.
Yeah, they did. I do remember Ark the Lad being on Sci-Fi for a bit, and a few others. I think Sci-Fi is actually how I watched Evangelion the very first time.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. That was aired on Sci-Fi here.
Mm-hmm. So, but it was aired on Sci-Fi at something like 5:30 in the morning, so I'd get up early before school and watch it with my headphones plugged into the TV, the old tube TV.
Oh man, Cruel Angel Thesis, that's a good way to wake up.
It really was. So, but yeah, these I do love the fact that some of these are still around in that format, and some of them really weren't afraid to, you know, end the shows by killing off the main villain or removing the main characters from their ability to continue, finishing the story, as it were. So Pretear finishes the story in a very surprising way, where it ends up with like the one of the main villains is actually married to one of the pretty boys from this reverse harem that she's got. It's, you know, I can't help but feel that having them be this rare doesn't ruin them. I think it makes them special.
You're not wrong, but I kind of feel that because there's this whole franchisability nature of these shows that are coming out these days, it makes it,
they're incentivized to kind of stretch it out.
Sorry, say that again, Nasuth?
I don't think I'm going where you were going, but I'm saying they're incentivized to stretch it out, which lowers the impact and the quality. Like again, look at Kaiju No. 8, where they kept flashing back to the control room in season 2 just to stretch it out.
It's more than just that, but it's also a case of, instead of going for the source material that is a one and done, they avoid it for something that is super popular. It's one of the biggest things with American show production is the fact that they keep going until they bleed it dry. There are very, very few shows from American media that has a satisfying ending. Look.
They're doing Harry Potter again. They're doing Harry Potter again.
God. Oh, yes.
Right.
And they can't even light it properly. It looks horrible.
Regardless, but like the fact that Gravity Falls was a series that had the ending it wanted, and Star Trek TNG had an absolute fantastic final episode for season 7, right? But I'd argue that when it comes to American production stuff, I mean, granted, there's plenty of stuff in Japan that's, they can't stick the landing, but they bleed it dry, right? They keep on going. And Game of Thrones, they got to a point where there was no more source material, so they made it the fuck up. And it goes against all of the previously stated source material. There's a hilarious video, a meme video. Apparently, like, someone makes this ballista with this arrow that's powerful enough to kill dragons. Dragons are supposed to be like the most dangerous thing in the whole of the Game of Thrones franchise, and this ballista is just able to take down dragons. And it's like, wait, hold on, why don't we just use this ballista for literally everything else, right? We could take over the whole of the country with this ballista because of how easy it can take out a dragon, right?
Almost certainly.
Well, I can take out a single big target. That doesn't mean I can take out like an army of little people.
Well, I mean, the big targets are the problems. But the whole
castles,
death by 1,000 paper cuts, you know.
But hilariously, the idea was that the directors of Game of Thrones, they were doing such a good job that Disney had hired them to do the third film of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. But because the last season of Game of Thrones tanked so damn hard because they rushed it, right? Disney, negged on the deal.
Well, they couldn't have done an any worse job than J.J. Abrams did on the third one, you know.
That wasn't the story that Abrams wanted to tell, but
regardless, I know.
I agree with you, though. Anyway.
So, the interesting one that popped up when I was looking at other shows that got pulled the plug, that didn't get their endings they wanted, was The Owl House. Came up as a as a thing. And I'm actually kind of impressed because the person that created that has now gone to work with Glitch, the independent producers that have been on YouTube for a bit now, and has created Knights of Guinevere. And Knights of Guinevere's pilot is fucking phenomenal. And as far as an animated show goes, I can't wait to see the rest of it. I really hope they do well. And I haven't seen an anime where that's happened. Anime usually gets to the end of their season, no matter how bad they do, and they just don't produce any more of it. So, or they do something in the same thing, but not that. Which is why you get shows like Devilman Crybaby.
I'm not entirely sure what you're alluding to there with Devilman Crybaby.
Well, so have you seen how many crossovers Devilman is in?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But Devilman Crybaby, they end the season with the iconic destruction of that current world. And you know that Lucifer is actually going to survive it because that's his punishment. That's why they show the very next scene with 2 moons in the sky, because it's the signal that it's happened a second time. And yet they've never gone on to show anything more from this, whether there's another cycle that could do on. They've always gone back and picked Devilman out of the time when he was Devilman and crossed him over with other things, because it's not a thing like
supposed
Cowboy
to be
Bebop,
its own thing.
It's a Crybaby is supposed to be its own thing. It's not like a Cowboy Bebop where they just made a movie set it somewhere in the middle and it fits. No, this is because the character is worth using, but the story isn't.
I disagree with that. Even though I distinctly don't like Devilman Crybaby, I feel Devilman Crybaby is designed in such a way to be its one and done narrative, much like
it's not the same
Vivy
Devilman.
Flourite Eye Song.
But Devilman as a franchise has done extremely well. And there is the potential, much like there is with any of the other ones that seem to have this effect happen, to do a new Devilman anime set after the Crybaby story.
No, I don't think they would, because it's not Crybaby is its own continuity. It's not part of the regular Devilman continuity where he can do crossovers and what have you. I expect the Ghost in the Shell one that we're getting from Science Saru to be very similar. It's not going to be set in the same continuity as Standalone Complex or the original or anything like that. It's going to be its own universe. And so I don't agree with you that they would want to make a sequel in the Crybaby universe, because that story was literally just meant to show the futility, the nihilism of Lucifer's situation, and we got that. There's nothing they could do in a second season.
To highlight, I feel that in terms of anime, Japan is really reserved in terms of crossovers, right? They are like, they'll do like homages and things. Well, I mean, there's Toriko, which I think is one that has like, that's a Shonen Jump one that has like more crossovers than the Sun, but that was very short-lived. Yeah. There's homages and references, right? Like Gintama does homages and references out the wazoo, right? It's which anime is this? Oh, that's One Piece. No, it's Gintama. Right. Oh, which anime is this?
Counterpoint. Isekai Quartet,
yeah.
Literally made to be a 4-man crossover and is actually really popular in Japan.
Apparently we had a huge crossover event with all the Takahashi.
That was like in. Yeah, that was like a short special thing, Nasuth. We covered it on the news.
Yeah.
Right.
That's anyway. You see, those two are crossovers within the same franchise, but
Lupin Detective Conan. Yep.
Oh my god, that's not what I was
Cyborg versus Devilman.
Yeah, but that's the same author.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
That does not count. That does not fucking count.
Yu-Gi-Oh! With Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon Ball with Dr. Slump. Yep.
It's still Toriyama's.
Slump?
Yeah, technically, because it's the same. It's Toriyama's stuff.
Yeah.
Carnival of Phantasm Fate.
No.
That's again, all within the same franchise.
Fine.
Here's Isekai Quartet. Then
that's the Toriko one where they
versus Warriors.
That was one I was talking about. Yeah.
Gundam versus Hello Kitty.
That's like a little advert. Give me a break. Anyway, but my whole point is that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that
it is an event. It's not the norm.
Yeah, Japan's animation side of things, that they do this stuff primarily as special things, but in the States, like, the whole point of Marvel and DC are to span all these different universes, so all these different characters into one universe and everything, and it is this crazy culmination of people who just can't agree on any of this stuff, right? And I feel that when it comes to crossover stuff in Japan, it's like, we recognize we can't agree on any of this stuff, so we're not going to try.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point. We talk about the Marvel versus DC stuff. That's probably the origin of these crossover things. People want to see comic books crossover. They wanted Batman to meet Superman. They wanted these unlikely team-ups of all the different superheroes. And that's how Justice League came about as a concept. And then the Avengers following suit.
But the problem
DC's
is that
golden years with that.
But the problem with that now is that this has become the super norm.
Yes.
Right? And
oh my god! I just flashed back to like the I don't know if it's the 80s or 90s, but there were two TV shows, or there were several TV shows, right? There was The Incredible Hulk, and there was The Amazing Spider-Man. I think it was The Amazing Spider-Man. Might have been The Incredible Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Either way,
the
they
cartoons?
The live action.
Yes.
Live action TV show.
I don't remember.
Really?
I don't remember.
TV show.
And
I do remember the Spider-Man one, yeah.
I know there were two crossovers. One of them was the Hulk and Spider-Man, and one of them was the Hulk and Daredevil.
Yes.
Oh.
So here's a question for you, Nasuth.
Uh-huh.
Name a live action TV comedy or drama that you enjoyed.
Let's not rabbit hole. We're rabbit holing too hard. Okay.
This is
Sorry, yes.
Name a TV show comedy, a long-running comedy that you enjoyed, and then we'll just go from there. Just one show that you really enjoyed and you can watch again and again.
Long-running TV comedy.
Something like The Office.
I don't really go in for a lot of comedies.
No?
Maybe news radio. News radio. That's going way back to the 90s.
No. What I mean is there is a long-standing trend that you can name something that America likes as a long-running TV comedy, like The Office, all apart from Friends, and literally put in UK. And
no, you'll never find news radio UK.
The Americans
no,
it's the British ones that. It's a British TV show that the Americans have adopted, and then
you'll never find News Radio UK. You'll never find Modern Family UK. You'll never find The Good Place
Cheers
UK. You'll never find Cheers UK. Yep. Sorry, Thaylien, you're just wrong.
UK.
So,
shots fired.
In any case, there's a version of it that appeared in the UK before. Usually, still.
Nah,
that's something that doesn't. That's what the Western side does like doing. It takes franchises and makes them long running.
That is at least true.
And yeah, I can't help but feel that.
Look at Doctor Who, which ran 26 seasons.
Yeah,
a movie, and then they said, you know what, we'll bring it back. All right, why not?
Yes. So, is that really any different though from something like Dragon Ball Z? Is that really any different from something like Evangelion, which has just got remake after remake?
But that's my problem. That's my concern. That's my feeling, is the fact that we're constantly... How many more times are we going to get a reboot of even... Hell, we've got another reboot of bloody Evangelion on the way, and it's being bloody written by Yoko Taro.
Yeah.
Right? Famed for Nier Automata. And it's just like... Yeah. Why are we having another one?
I mean, I'm really curious to see how Yoko Taro will treat it.
Money,
but at the same time,
okay. Break from this. Let's just take a break from this whole.
Yeah.
Xeno, Apocalypse Hotel.
Right, I love Apocalypse Hotel. It ends open enough for another season. I am satisfied with as is. I would love a dub for it if it doesn't already have one. I don't think it does. The goober in the top corner. No, it's only in Japan.
I feel the same way about Tojima so far.
Yeah, Tojima is another perfect example. I'm happy with where it is. Would I accept a second season? Yes, but I am more than happy just to live with the show we got.
It's not like Shield Hero, where there's clearly more.
A very big cliff hope. Yeah.
Right? Where like you can watch season 1 of Tojima, and that's it. That's fine. You never have to worry about like, what happens next? Yeah.
And I feel the same with Drifters, right? It's like Drifters, I love what we got. There is clearly more to Drifters, but as it stands, we're never getting that anime, right? In terms of Knights and Magic, that was another brilliant example where there was no more. What we got in the anime was pretty much what we got in the the manga because the author decided, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm like, but it's so good. You know?
See, that was a thing. So I was kind of going to say that one of the things that we haven't seen happen since something like Pretear or similar is where the manga was complete and they've managed to get the entire story, if cut down, into the one season. That's the reason that something like Pretear came to an end, was because it actually told the whole story of the manga. The manga was a short manga, but they told the complete story of it.
Full Metal Alchemist?
So Full Metal Alchemist as well.
Depends.
So they did that in one season. Where
it depends on what you consider a season. Yeah.
So
in America,
one continuous.
In America, we have like very strict definitions of what is a season, right? There's the spring season, the fall season, maybe the summer season, but summer's usually for reruns.
Yeah.
But in Japan,
argue that Japan feels the same when you've got One Piece in the mix.
Or Utena or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, where it clearly runs for a non-standard amount of episodes.
I mean, it's to me, I think cores are the standard.
Yes.
So cores are always 12 to 13 episodes. And then the length of a season is determined by how many cores it has in it. You know, it's you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I would argue not quite, because Japan is plenty fine doing a 24 to 26 episode single season. It isn't 2 cores, it just runs continuously through the actual spring to summer season, for example, and then that's it. That's the one season. It's not necessarily always defined by the 12
Xeno's saying the
episode
same. Xeno's saying the same thing. It's 2 cores, but it's one season.
I don't think that some of them are 2 cores. I think they're just a continuous season.
Well, I'm
like
saying
Nocia. Was Nocia 2 cores?
No. He's not saying that there's a halfway point. Right, you can have shows.
See, that's how I would define cores, is that they're actually like those dividing.
No,
points.
he's just talking about a length of time, not a signpost, but like a rest stop or what have you.
Landmark, but
landmark.
See, that's why something like Mushoku Tensei having multiple cores in a single season. But because they were then divided up into those cores as 2 published in 2 separate time seasons,
they do kind of get to an ending, midway point. They come to a midway point. So I feel that using the description of a core gives it the ability to split into 2 separate times of publishing. I think that's a split. I think they call those split cores.
Satisfying end.
So you've either got continuous core or split core, and I think that's the difference you're looking for.
Yes. So even continuous cores can have midpoints.
They can.
And even split cores can just end on an episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you season 4 of Danmachi.
Yes, exactly. They could just come back later. They just stop, and that's your core. And then you come back later. So it's a bit of a loose terminology.
It is, don't get me wrong. And there's no precedent for anything. I mean, we didn't really have cores as a defined thing in anime culture, community, whatever.
Until more recently.
Until much more recently, when we were having things like Komi Can't Communicate. Oh no, this is Komi Can't Communicate Season 2. No, this is Komi Can't Communicate Season 1, Core 2. Right? It's still part of the same season. Right? And people, it's...
I believe that has something to do with the actual story they're telling, where they want to tell an arc from 1 to 2 cores and finish the season at this certain point. But they've had to publish it in separate areas, therefore it's 2 cores.
Yeah, it's again, Mushoku Tensei is another one. It gets 2 cores per season, but there's typically a couple of seasons between the cores. Anywho, we are getting close to time.
Yeah, now we're getting into
the thick of it again.
Cores and stuff. Yeah.
So,
all right.
I feel that there is a huge push for turning a lot of shows into franchises.
Oh, sorry, are we in the wrap-up now?
I agree.
I think so. So.
Yeah. Honorable mentions wrap up.
So...
Dishonorable mentions, like Death Note.
That should have been zero seasons.
Death Note was, even though it's still a rounded off narrative, Dead Man Wonderland was a brilliant series, but didn't actually get a conclusion in the slightest.
Yes.
They
broke out and that's it. Where do we go from here? Who cares?
Cabanero of the Iron Fortress, I think, was another brilliant series that had an open enough ending to keep going if they wanted to, but was still rounded off enough, and it had a nice enough bow that people were satisfied. Erased was completely finalized.
Yep.
And
I'm surprised.
Those are the ones that I'm going to mention.
Violet Evergarden completely finished.
I'm surprised you didn't put Heavenly Delusion on here.
I didn't think about it.
Yeah, I didn't come up in my quick search either. So
yeah,
it's a bit weird. But then again, I haven't watched Heavenly Delusion. So.
Don't. Well, do, but skip the last episode.
Yeah.
I flubbed the last episode so hard.
Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, no, I have to say, I feel that this is not some lost art of making single season anime. I think this is still an ongoing thing, that there are still going to be more and more of these released over time. But I do feel that they're special because they are a smaller part of the anime world than we would want them to be. And those, I'd like them to stay special because of that. I'd like them to stay as these shining examples of how to tell a complete story, even if you don't tell the whole manga in an anime. And as long as we have that as an art form, it doesn't matter how many Narutos, how many multi-season long shows we get.
Well,
because sometimes even those shows can tell a complete story eventually.
I disagree.
I think I'd like to clarify something, that just because we had more single season shows back in the day doesn't mean they were all masterpieces. And it doesn't mean they all have to be masterpieces now. But I feel like I've said this before on the show. I feel like doing those single season shows gives artists and studios a chance to sort of experiment and do things they might not normally do that they can then incorporate into other shows. Like, I don't think we would have gotten Sanda if it wasn't for Devilman Crybaby, right?
Yeah, I'm looking over here at, I mean, you had it on your screen as well, Escaflowne.
Yep. I was thinking Escaflowne. Yep.
DNA Squared, Get Backers, Tenjo Tenge, Elfenolid, El Hazard,
Project Eiko.
Yeah.
But the list of shows,
Crisis?
the list of shows that you're reaming off right now, I'm pretty sure are all 20+ year old shows.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's my point, is that they're not all good back then.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that now, if we're getting our single season shows, the vast majority of them are this copy paste slop of shonen or isekai, or they're not trying to break the norm in any way, shape, or form. And the big successful shows, the more franchisable ones, are the ones that are hitting many seasons, right? Look at Free Run, look at Apothecary Diaries, look at Dandadan, right? all three of them absolutely incredible shows, but they're also bred for how franchisable they are.
Like you'd never see a record of Lodos Toy back in the day. Well, you might see some figurines, but you're going to see a ton of Dragon Ball Z figurines. Yeah, that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
I will. Yeah. I do have a comparison for this though.
Go on.
Okay. Books, Western books.
Yeah.
How many single books do we see nowadays?
I can't speak to this.
Well,
no, not that many. Is the answer. There are a few. There'll be
in terms of popular ones. I think you're right, but so, I think in terms of overall, there are still a lot.
Yeah, because publishers for these days want franchisable books. They want trilogies. They want quintets.
They want the next Harry Potter. Or Game of Thrones, or
the next Harry
Dark
Potter,
Tower, or
even the young adult ones. They want the next Catching Fire. They want the next, Hunger Games. They want the next Maze Runner. Yeah, something like that. Something like these franchisable books. Same thing must be happening to manga. Manga authors aren't getting published unless their manga can run for a certain amount of time, unless their light novel went for a certain amount of time to give them lots of content for a manga. And so it's then working its way up the chain. We're seeing that publishers want something that will make them money over and over. So that's what's getting published. That's what's getting made into anime.
How much of this is also because of the introduction of like streaming services or Netflix in general, where like even back in the old days of discs, where people would get entire shows sent to them over the course of like a couple months or whatever,
So I'm not going to lie, I was a bit lost with what you're trying to say there, Thaylien. It feels like you're now trying to agree with me that the one and done shows are dying because these publishers are looking for franchisability.
It's why you feel it's happening. I think, however, that this doesn't to me ruin the situation that we're in, that there are still some brilliant single season shows getting made, and that makes them more special to me, because if they can get to that stage where they get published as a manga, published as an anime, that thing, that we're getting better quality through that overall.
Instead of a pile of diamonds mixed with, maybe even just cubic zirconium. Wait, cubic zirconium? Whatever it is. Cubic zirconium. There we go. Thank you. Mixed with shit, you're getting mostly shit with some diamonds in there.
I think it's refining the quality of the ones we do get now by making them compete with these franchises.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know what you can tell me as of last season. What 5-star show came out last season that isn't part of a greater franchise?
Ganglion, Tojima.
Well, that's
the only one I can think of is Tojima.
Yes. If you hadn't qualified that with saying that isn't part of a larger franchise, I would say Send It to Be a Hero, because that's already come out with saying it's going to have a season 2.
But that's I would have said Free Rent. I would have said Hell's Paradise. I would have said if it wasn't
the fact that they have
we're looking for single
got extended things, so they've got the extended things. But I don't think that's actually ruined them. As I say, I feel that Free Rent would have been amazing if it had just finished where it did.
Yes, I completely agree.
Yeah. So,
but it just
the single season thing is that, but there is franchising going on because they do want to make more money. I don't think that's reducing quality, though. I think that's refining quality when we do get these single season ones.
When we get the single season ones, sure, but the problem is they're now risking the single season shows at the expense of, can we turn it into a franchise? A la One Punch Man. A la Rising of the Shield Hero. Right, I think all of us agree that Rising of the Shield Hero Season 1 took a huge knock on the head with its subsequent seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to ask Nasuth what open-ended show, because like I try to get the thing to pick one for me. What open-ended show that's only had one series would you be on the fence for getting more seasons, or would you say, no, I still want to see more seasons of this?
Oh, that's well, the problem is I don't remember all my shows. Hulk. I can actually pick a few. Hulk.
Stick with one. Just stick with one. So Hulk, right?
No, let's do one. If we're only, well, Under the Luck had the movie, so.
No, that's fine. I was actually going to give Undead Unluck to Thaylien, but
Oh, okay. Well, Thaylien might be better at Hulk than me because he's read it.
Anyway,
not so much Hulk. I would have personally gone for an older one like El Hazard.
Yeah.
Sorry. To clarify, Nasuth. So are you saying that with Undead Unluck you would still want more seasons, or
I do, but I'm wary, especially if the studio that did the winter arc is the same studio doing season 2 going forward. I haven't looked into that, so I don't know.
Season 2, but yeah,
but no, I think season 2 was confirmed, but either way,
I remember.
I mean, they did an okay job with the winter arc movie, but it wasn't quite up to the same quality. Yeah. So I'd be a little worried about that.
It didn't feel the same. So I would have said El Hazard, The Wanderers. El Hazard, The Wanderers is a reasonably complete season, but finishes open-ended enough that there are more adventures they can have in this world of theirs, where the it's more like it does finish on a note where you could say, and the adventure continued. And I wouldn't mind that. It's a nice, gentle show where the villain is Team Rocket level. He's not a. He can be a genuine threat by accident, but not. That's more in the original OVA. Sorry.
Most of the time, he's watching the Bugram dance.
Yes, exactly, and dealing with the Queen. At least he's not dealing with the other Queen. So these characters they've created, there is more story they could tell. But I still go back and enjoy it for what it is.
Do you have anything more recent than that? More recent than... if you want, think about it while I can cover mine.
No, I would say definitely... Well, let's think of it when it comes down
open-ended,
to...
Open-ended,
that's a real tricky one. Because I really want to see more Cyberpunk Edgerunners, for example, even though it's very closed.
Well, yeah, it's not open-ended.
We're getting more Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
It's a franchise.
Let me think about it while you go.
So, I've got 2 opportunities here. One, which is obviously No Game, No Life. I love the series very much, but also equally Apocalypse Hotel, which you added to the system. Both of them ended openly. Both of them only have 1 season, and I've got to be honest, the way that everything's gone, I think I would personally prefer that both of these shows did not get additional seasons and they were left as is.
Thaylien. Night of the Living Cat.
Night of the Living Cat, yes. That would be a good one. But actually, brand new animal.
Okay.
DNA, really? Yeah.
DNA, yeah. I love that universe. I think that ended open enough that there is more to tell. More, because they got rid of one political adversary that was moving things behind the scenes. They've still got the rest of the world to deal with. So there is a lot more that world could tell us. And I love the season for what it is. It's one season. It is really good animation, really good quality stuff. But yeah, I'd be happy if they made a sequel to BNA.
Fair. Okay, so blitzing through the questions that I wanted to answer. What makes a single season feel complete rather than just unfinished? I genuinely think it's, if you're going to tell a story, you've got to complete the arc. Even if it's not...
At least one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know? Can you love a show and still think it's better off without more? I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I've certainly changed my mind on this very much. Is the desire for more seasons a sign a show was good, or a sign it left too much unresolved?
Both.
I think
it's both. Yeah, it depends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, it could... the desire for more seasons is still a sign of it being good, but likewise, it can be both.
Mm-hmm.
Are there shows sitting in your need a sequel list that we'd actually be better off letting go? I genuinely think yes.
Yeah, I can agree to that, but only through fear of what they would actually do to it.
Yes, 100%. It's only fear. Fear.
Oh my god, I just thought of another good comparison to a Western show. Unfortunately, it's real. Well, the original run was really old. Twin Peaks, right? After Twin Peaks ended, everyone wanted another season, and it took 25 years before he made it happen. And he was specifically designed it to be like, this is why you shouldn't have asked for a second season. You should have left well enough alone.
Right.
Stop asking for answers to questions that you shouldn't that you should figure out yourself.
Yep. And then the last part is, what's the difference between a show ending and a show being finished? I think the whole thing with a show ending is that there's still opportunity for there to be more. Another show that we haven't touched upon is Good Luck Girl. You know, it didn't get... It was a fun show, but it needed... Like, I wanted it to have more and things like that. But a show being finished, like Vivy, Flourite, Song, it's done. You know, there's no more story to tell.
Cowboy Bebop, Pretear, all these things, they finish.
Yep. Full Metal Alchemist, right? That has the opportunity to tell more story, but let's face it, there's no more story to tell, and there shouldn't be a shoehorned in. Oh, and then they lived happily ever after, and then there was children, and then their children.
No. They introduced an even bigger villain that we didn't know about.
Oh god.
You know, something even stronger than the dwarf in the flask.
It was building a transmutation symbol the size of the entire continent.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we need to, borrow from the Western studios and just make it bigger and better.
Transmutation circle. They did it with the planets. Anyway, right. I think it's time to move on to the supporter questions. Yes.
Woo! I have done an anti-confusion tactic with you, by the way. You'll see.
Is it you named yourself as someone else?
Nope.
Okay. I am questioning why there's two instances of the one person.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's it.
Riku7, Just Spiced Ham, says, given that you have arrived so far into this pedantic polylogue, as opposed to a monologue, please press the like and subscribe to participate in potentially puffing up population with the powers that present popularity polls in this platform.
Good alliteration, Ricky's. I like that one.
Well, apparently I've heard that mentioning
Ricky's.
I've heard that mentioning the A word, the A G rhythm.
The A word
is bad for not the retention,
it's bad for
but
improving it.
Yeah, the
citation
the AG doesn't like hearing that. and we'll
citation needed.
Well, yeah.
Rick7 just spiced ham asks, what did you need to sacrifice beyond your sanity to watch an anime as much as you did? What did I need to sacrifice? Sleep. I mean, surely that would be a bad anime.
No, anime. As much as I did. I had to sacrifice some sleep to watch some of the anime as much as I did. Especially when we're coming up to review episodes.
Yeah.
I'd probably say my attention to my work. But, I mean...
professional.
I'm not saying that while I'm doing my job. No.
Professional time.
My hair. Just like Saitama, I lost my hair watching anime.
You guys can't see his screen when he all tabs around.
Zrugal asks, we are now approaching the season of summer. What is the best quintessential summer anime?
Summertime Rendering.
High School of the Dead.
No, I'm actually going to go Dan to Dan. I think that Dan to Dan is now my anime I'll go back to in the summer and just, rewatch that when I'm on a nice long summer afternoon.
I think Tojima might take place in the summer too.
Kobayashi Dragon Maid.
Okay.
Anyway.
Fair enough.
Ultimate Thable asks, why aren't you Master Thable? Why aren't you?
Because I'm talking about sports, not Pokemon.
Ah, fair. Ultimate Thable, like Frisbee?
Football.
Yes.
There's an Ultimate
Frisbee. There's an Ultimate Football.
There's Ultimate Frisbee. There's Ultimate Thable, though.
Ultimate Thable, wait, is it like Beyblade? So I'll get to your question now. Do you ever look back at the 1800s and think, wow, they lived such simpler lives. I wouldn't mind trying that. Or do you think, wow, I'm so glad I live now where I can watch anime and reasonably expect to live past 50? Definitely the latter.
Well, but if I lived in the 1800s, I might uncover a Gundam sent to the future from the past.
Ooh. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
So you'd live the anime, not watch the anime.
Exactly.
And do the laundry.
Yeah. And carry around cows.
With your Gundam. And become an archaeologist by digging shit up with your Gundam. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
FYI, they weren't archaeologists. Anyway, right. So, Ultimate Thable asks, are the three of you able to collaborate, taking turns to add plot points to create the plot of a single season anime that all three of you would watch or not? Yes.
That we'd not watch. I think we're able to do that.
Oh, we're not watching.
I think we're able to add plot points that each would hate so much that we wouldn't watch it. Except that I also feel that Nasuth would then watch it out of spite.
No, it's a binary question. The answer is yes. Just make it a slice of life. He wouldn't watch it. It's fine.
That's not necessarily true. It depends on how slicey of life it is.
100%. He'd not watch it.
You add in full Shotokan and I wouldn't watch it.
Wow.
And what do we add in for Xeno? Well, apart from the first...
I don't think any of us would watch... Yeah, I don't think any of us would watch that.
Straight Shotokan and Lodicon. Make one of the characters Chi from Chobits.
No, Xeno wouldn't watch it if you make one of the characters go atomic.
Yes.
No, make all the characters go atomic.
Make all the characters go atomic.
Yes. And it becomes
no one's special if everyone's special. Anyway, let's move on to the comments. Right, so moving on to the comments from last week. First of all, we got the news. Strombus Shell says, news! Cool stories this week. It's nice to stay up. Is that supposed to be updated on things?
I agree.
Right. I can't read that name. That name's too vague. I'm going to move on to now. So Loz says, news!
Oh, wild MDR laws appeared.
Yep. So maybe Nasuth, he did watch the news, or he just pick up the comments.
He might have just commented.
Yeah. Zerul said, sorry, the joke there is that Loz constantly tells us things that we've reported in the news. It's like, yes, we've reported this in the news. Only if you watched the news.
Apparently it finally got recommended to him, though, so there you go. Moving up in the world.
So he says. Anyway, Zerul says, news! On the article about Hayate buying Ladus?
I called it Ladus, but yeah.
I keep hearing Stewie Griffin say, what the deuce? As Nasuth 3 is the story. Yep. I have a friend who might be interested in that Macross meets Maverick story. I think I'll share it. Not many responses from me this week because I was playing a game and dying. But it was nice background sounds to hear the news. Thanks, guys. You're welcome.
Always a pleasure.
Drumbus Shell says, solid breakdown of idiot plots. Angel Densetsu is my favorite example. The whole show is built on everyone being able to... Maybe I should zoom in. That would probably help me. Sorry, 2 seconds.
The whole show built on everyone being unable to have a normal conversation.
So this sweet guy accidentally becomes the scariest gangster around. It turns miscommunication into an art form.
Whoa. How do you pronounce that thing but after a round?
Oh, it's pronounced that.
There you go.
When it's intentional like this, it's comedy gold. But when it's just lazy writing, it hurts. Well, we know Strong Michelle's an AI now, so Nasuth can't acknowledge that. Right? only AI uses emojis.
Yeah.
Zrugel misspelled something last week, and I'm going to bug him about it. You don't need to do that. Great memes, guys. This week as usual. Thanks for the weekend entertainment. You're welcome.
You're very welcome.
Zrugel says, Kanpai! Okay, I understand the edit plot now. I really hated the movie 28 Weeks Later because every decision made had to be made by the idiot for the plot to advance the way it did, without realizing that's what people call an idiot plot. I hate that movie. I think I actually preferred 28 Weeks Later over 28 Days Later, but I get it. I genuinely get it, because my biggest bugbear is like, why would the one guy, this one random civilian administrator, have access to military secrets? It's just like, this is, yeah.
That's how I feel about every season of The Walking Dead after the first one.
Right. It's funny that Thaylien brings up the Bakuto arc from Bleach.
Yeah, the Bakuto arc.
As an idiot plot, because that's my favorite arc. Respectfully, I disagree that ideals leading from mishearing another character should be considered an idiot plot. I get where he's coming from. That antagonist's motivation does hinge on just that one thing that happens to be wrong anyway. But I still think it's a cool arc. Classroom.
Cool arc, yes, but I think the plot itself was classed as an idiot plot. That's where we're going to disagree, I think.
On Classroom of the Elite, the idea that a class full of elite students would forget one of the rules to a game is an absolutely idiotic plot. Yes. Stupid series. Why does it have 4 seasons? Fucking franchisable crap. Gonna have to just disagree with Thalien's point about Fruits Basket. No offense, Thay, personally. I know he enjoys the series too. I don't think the spoiler box was a major plot point. I will, because I still haven't watched that. That was just a point at which the trauma started. The whole plot doesn't hang on the event in Akito's past. The plot is about Toru Honda healing the spread of trauma. Again, I get the point he's making, but I respectfully don't agree that this makes it an idiot plot. A bunch of other shows listed on this list I haven't actually watched, so I will both appreciate and the spoilers and take your word for it. Xeno, I will strive never to force you to read something you don't want to read out, but if that ever happens, starting now, you have my permission to skip it.
La 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 la. I can't hear you.
My friend who hates... I'm reading it! What's that gonna fucking do?
You won't have proof.
That section of audio is just gonna mysteriously get deleted. Yep.
My friend who hates everything sent me a clip of Witch Hat Atelier. We're both very impressed. He's convinced me to watch it because of the clip. The clip convinced me to watch it. Watch it. Just watch it. It's so good.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys pick in this coming season. I need to actually finish a few shows. Grimace, banger memes, guys. Gotta share a few of those.
Guess who's not prepared to transition to the memes?
Speaking of memes, well, if you let me bloody talk, I'd give you an opportunity to get ready to transition to the memes.
La 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 la. Can't hear.
Anyway.
La 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 la.
Right, it's time for the memes. Don't forget that every week, you can go into the Discord and you can actually submit your own memes that we will react to in real time, because we have a lovely individual that goes through and curates them for us, so we don't get them spoiled, so we can know. Right.
And I have a lovely orange cat that's making life really hard right now. Silly orange cat. Yes, we have 5-viewer memes. Starting with... There we go. Did you...
Do you think cat girls elongate when you pick them up? Yes.
Just like real cats.
Yes, I think they do that.
Yes.
I agree.
100%.
Absolutely. And I would be upset if they didn't.
They make that face too.
Yep.
Hey, do you know how to be friends with girls? Just say, I love you. She will say, we're just friends. Women, you dare use my own spells against me, Potter? I swear I've seen this before. Not this bit, not the bottom, but the top bit.
But
oh god, I feel that show is...
Couldn't tell you.
Oh no, My Teenage Romance Snafu or something like that. It's crap. It's crap. It's got, again, many seasons. Don't watch it.
Oh,
that's amazing.
What's even funnier is him handing over the share cable and the new Pikachu not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
I love the dumpy Pikachu. Like, I really wish that they'd make Pikachu dump. Yeah, I wish they'd make Pikachu chubby again.
Yeah.
He is very friend-shaped regardless.
Oh, this is an old meme. Old meme. Love it. Never get... I actually made a version of this because I couldn't find the original. So, love it.
Brilliant. That is amazing.
Well,
stay away from being brilliant. My son.
Oh, Ralphs.
All right, on to my memes. I have to tell you something. What? I killed someone once. Me too. April 1st. April Fool's. July 18th. Yor did not understand.
Yep.
Fair point.
Yep.
Artemis 2 found what in space? Where's the dragon radar when you need it?
He's trying to eat it, which is the correct answer.
Nice. What is that actually?
It's actually...
it is actually... They brought a lot of stuff like this up with them into space.
No. Is it honey?
It's like honey or spread or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were going to put it on the bread, but of course, in space, it forms a perfect sphere anyway.
Yeah.
Go on to your
Excalibur?
travesty of an X1. Oh, I hate you so much.
You didn't hate it, but I brought it a couple of weeks ago.
I don't remember you bringing that a couple of weeks ago.
Senpai of the pool, what is your wisdom? A silly man covers his balls when running naked through a crowd. A wise man covers his face.
not wrong.
Next one's a video. When I get up for water at 3 a.m., and my cat thinks it's breakfast time. And my last one. There we go. Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our episodes of the new One Piece image, apparently. Yeah. And the other one is Steel Ball Run.
Which was posted repeatedly under pretty much anything that Netflix posted for the last month.
Yeah.
Poor Luffy. All right, on to Thaylien.
If a demon offered a spell to Frieren in exchange for their life, would Frieren take the spell or kill the demon? Huh? Sorry, that was a strange thing to ask.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Apologies for the music on this one. Well, for the audio on this one, but I'm not sorry.
It's the end of consciousness and free will for individuals, as we know.
It's when you fake an answer on the method sound, but it's an explain. So you make an explanation.
Mind consciousness with an AI jacked into everyone, knowing our hopes and dreams, delivering it to us, not in some PKD wirehead system where we plug in and give up on consciousness because of unlimited pleasure, but because we were already wired and absorbed before we knew it by giving over our consciousness to this system by our daily decisions that it was able to manipulate and control into a larger system. There's now a human counterstrike taking place to shut this off before it gets fully into place and to block these systems and to try to have an actual debate about where humanity goes and cut off the pedophiles and psychic vampires.
Oh my god, how long is this, Alien?
Before humanity's destroyed.
You can stop it.
Oh no, that was beautiful.
Wait. Right. First off, I'm 99% sure that was Alex Jones.
It was, 100%.
Yes, correct.
What the fuck was he answering?
You don't want to...
He was stream of consciousness having a rant, not actually answering a question.
He was talking about the lower dimensional demons that have taken over the Democrat Party, and
No. I got that. I understood that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know what was the question that started.
He doesn't.
Hey, do you want to come with coffee?
He doesn't need a question to start doing that.
Let me tell you something. This is the situation that's on the world. This is what they don't want you to believe.
Yeah.
Okay, next up.
Classic Alex Jones rant.
Let's try a new isekai. Remonster. And this next one, Xeno will like. I'm a hate on this evil queen-looking stepmom. So, damn, she's the great best mom ever.
Since I haven't watched Ranking of Kings yet, I saw this meme, but I didn't use it.
She did have a turnaround.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I got this next one. It's Itadorito.
Yep, that makes sense.
Oh my god, that is... Why does that feel like something Rick Hughes would post? And the last one's a video.
And,
days of summer vacation, and school comes along just to end.
Oh my god.
It is the entire thing.
Okay, well that will get us copyright struck.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. You get the idea. You can go watch the rest of that on our website. Oh my god. If only.
Good find.
Yeah.
Next one's a video.
If you like anime, what's your favorite?
So, I don't watch a ton of anime, but as a kid, man, did I love Fist of the North Star.
Hell yeah.
Crazy, like, post-apocalyptic. It was crazy. Maybe you shouldn't watch it if you're this. Don't watch it if you're this high. Watch it if you're this high.
I have no idea who that is, but I love him.
That's John Cena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen him before.
Yeah, that's John Cena.
He's starting to look a lot like Ernest Worrell. Ernest P. Worrell.
You can't defeat me. I know, but he can.
Why?
You know me so well.
Why? Why? All right, and the last
you get that right.
Yes,
yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters with Bravern. And that's the same fucking meme from, but I love it.
Is it the Bagogi?
I'm keeping it.
Okay.
And the last two are videos.
Just reactive.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Okay, class, today we're going to be talking about the most beautiful men in history. So these men are...
Mrs. Teacher, can we please learn about a truly beautiful man like, Satoru Gojo?
Okay, Gojo's a fraud. Let's talk about the real most beautiful man, Keyfree.
I think you mean Griffiths.
Wrong.
I think you mean Griffiths.
No. Keyfree.
Keyfree. That's not going to understand that at all.
No, he's not going to understand. He hasn't watched Witch Hunter Telltale.
No. He will, though. Right. That is it for this week's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching and or listening. Tell us what you think about One Season Wonders. And yeah, that's it. So, thank you all for watching and listening. Now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai.
Kanpai.